The Acolyte, where we give a new definition of the Force via interpretive dance. Hadouken! Hadouken! An entire planet of girl-on-girl action that all topped themselves because they couldn't handle each other's company. These are people so repulsive to the universe that the Force gave them babies, simply so they wouldn't leave the planet and go out and meet other people.
I carried them. I created them.
At least that's the excuse they're gonna give you. I think it's just whoever built their houses shagged them.
Tonight, you will experience the power of many.
This isn't a question of whether the colony was built by men, it's why are you so insufferable they left afterwards? Oh, we came here voluntarily? No one believes that, love.
I did not bring the girls into this world so we could lose them to a bunch of deranged monks.
This is the planet of Brendok, bereft of I don't know. I'm not going to put more effort into their naming strategy than they did. But we have hills, forests, and evil Sith. All of them are evil, actually, on this planet. Otherwise, they'd be Jedi. Also, terrible at science.
All living things are connected by the same thread. Some call it a force.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
No, that's midichlorians, love. We're not really great at science, are you? I can understand why sewing was more your speed. It's the only way I can understand the universe. You know, Anakin and Luke Skywalker, well, it's a bit like knit one, pearl one. The Force was knitting the future of the universe, really. The insect saw the mop and thought, oh, I can get moisture out of that. But then the other sister comes in and...
May? How did you know I was here?
How did you know I was here, Meg? Well, there's a big yellow tree, you come here all the time.
When I can't find you, I look here.
Seriously, I was taking the piss. I didn't expect you to write it into the script. I thought you were going to say I could send you through the Force. No, you always come here, you silly bint.
Bunta tree's so beautiful. But Osha, it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's a dangerous tree. Look, it's just spinning blaze on it.
Only if we eat it.
Well, don't eat it then. Oh, no. That was the poison from the previous episode, wasn't it? Is that also a setup for the end of the episode? I wiped everybody out with what you loved. It's such a pointless line. You're like, hang on, that's got to mean something else. But she's like, Hadouken! I'm in Street Fighter! And obviously, we're barely in the episode, you're like, by the way, she's evil. Just in case you didn't grasp it from the previous episodes where she's going out slaughtering everybody. Yeah, even as a child, she was born evil. Just like her mother's, actually. So she's there, hurting the little insect. Like to see it squirm.
Let it go, May. Stop!
She's living proof that Luke was right. Take her out at this age, she wouldn't have been a problem later on.
Why do you always have to do things like that?
Because she's pure evil, this isn't difficult. When you've just been caught turning into a Sith, she does have a great comeback herself.
Why do you always run off alone?
Oh, you got me, love. You're pure evil, yeah? Well, you don't want to be around me. No. It's the waves of filth that you give off, called civilization, love. Learn it. But instead, we get an unrelated response.
Why do you always run off alone? I don't want to do the Ascension.
What? Why was drinking milk? I like pizza. These two things have nothing to do with each other. But instead, it's just an excuse to bring it up. This is how we can become evil witches. You do the weird poem thing.
As above sits the stars, and below lies the sea.
This show's so bad, I want to throw up my tea. At that moment, though, they get caught by an evil Sith. It's okay, though, because they're scum themselves. It's morally grey.
There will be consequences for breaking the rules.
Someone throw them off a cliff. But they're getting followed by a Jedi. Turns out, though, they live in a fortress built into a mountain. Again, I ask, where are the men that built it? Seriously, you need to get them back. That place is falling apart. Literally bits of rubble all over the place. It's cracked all the way down. You need to get some men in there to maintain it. Stat. This is basically the ashes of civilization. Inside, though, is a cult of witches. It's not an insult, that's what they call themselves. I think it's okay when they say it. The worst thing about this place, though, is they would all sink. So once a month, that entire place would flood. Bit like the CG Project Red offices. No wonder they don't want them in the building anymore. Instead, they want to go and get some sweets.
Those are not for little girls who run away from home.
I'm not little anymore.
It's true, she's fully grown. That's why it's really stupid that we're supposed to think she's an assassin. Mind you, she has lost every fight so far, so, you know, guess it's realistic. But after her mum has gone, no, you can't have sweets.
Let them have some spice cream.
Her other mum comes out and undermines her. This is why one of them's evil. Terrible parenting. What they needed here was a father figure, a man, to actually instill discipline in them. Without that influence, you can understand why this entire cult turned evil.
Mama!
It's another one. By how much they love her, you can tell that she is a great cook. Dab-and with a turkey baster.
My sweet girls must have sweet treats.
Can't even get the pissing line right. The entire joke is, do you want sugar in that? No thanks, I'm sweet enough. Then you get the Americanized version. It's like, do you want sugar in? Well, obviously. Strap that high fructose corn syrup to my veins.
Don't you think so, Coral?
I told you, she's evil. I've already undermined your authority, and now I'm going to make you agree with me, so that they know that you're beneath my boot, scum. She's like looking down. Oh, can't believe this filth.
Meet me in the common room for your training session.
We're gonna boil bunnies. She tells the leader, though, that left the fortress again.
Did anyone see them?
I do not believe so.
So you're just incompetent then, because we saw him. He had the grand strategy of standing behind a tree. You tell me you didn't notice? You're supposed to be magic.
Any sign of the visiting Jedi?
None.
You're the crappiest Sith ever. He was right there. He was like 10 meters away. I'm surprised you didn't smell him. Oh, my horny sense is tingling. Why didn't you sense a strange disturbance in the Force? You know, somebody that was moral. Never experienced this before. Something unusual is near me.
Our scouts think they've moved their ship inland.
Think. How about they go and pissing check, eh?
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven.
It's not though, is it? You've just said Jedi land on it. You mean this mountain is safe. If the planet was safe, people wouldn't visit it. You needed to go out to a different planet so that Jedi don't just randomly pop by. But she says, as leader, I've always deferred to you when raising the twins.
I've always deferred to you.
That was a big mistake, wasn't it? You're the mother, you raised them. No one pops out a sprog and then goes, Doctor, he's your responsibility till he's 18 now. He just happened to be standing there at the time. You don't pop back to the X-ray tech to ask for child maintenance.
A firm hand is required.
Yeah, spare the rod, spoil the child. And here they spared the rod, and one of them turned into a Sith. Started slaughtering people around the universe. Looks like we finally got a conclusion to that. If only they'd had a father figure, this could have been avoided.
Testing her boundaries, it's normal behavior for a child.
It's normal for someone to become a Sith and start experimenting on animals. It's normal, you see. As with anything in the middle, it just means they're evil half the time.
Twins are not normal children.
I don't know what you mean by that, love, but that sounds quite bigoted to me. You saying they've only got half a soul. One of these have, she's evil. But then we find out why you shouldn't get someone like her to explain science.
All living things are connected
By midichlorians.
by the same thread.
No, they're not. It doesn't go from one thing to another thing to another thing. It's not a chain. It's everywhere.
It's an energy field around us, penetrates, binds the galaxy together.
It literally surrounds you. We're like, no. Imagine rock climbers going up a mountain. Also, why have you never explained this to them before? They can already use the Force. This is the first time you've ever explained to them what it is.
A thread woven through all of existence.
I'm surrounded by women. We're gonna need a sewing analogy for this one. Do you want to do Force push? Well, imagine yourself doing a cross stitch. So she thinks she's really clever because she can do Force pull by using the Force that's all around her and then getting it wrong. I've seen the things about Leslye redefining the Force, but really, there will be tribes of ignorant, uncivilized people all over the universe that have no idea what they're talking about. This is like going abroad and them thinking that a camera takes your soul. Doesn't actually take your soul. They're just wrong. Seriously, you look around this village, do any of them look as if they know what they're talking about? They can't even hoover, which is the one thing you'd think they'd be good at.
Some call it a force.
The ones who are correct. We actually find out they are correct because they're way more powerful than them. So they must have a better knowledge of how it works.
And claim to use it.
Of course they use it. What do you think you just did? Literally used it to give something to you, you silly cow.
But we know the thread is not a power you wield.
You just wielded it.
Pull the thread, change everything.
That's not how it works. Fate exists in Star Wars.
Ties you to your destiny.
How could it be your destiny if you can change it?
Change everything. Ties you to your destiny.
That doesn't even make any sense. So this thread ties you to your destiny, but if you pull on the thread, then you change it, even though it still leads you to your destiny, which is now different than your previous destiny, which can't have been your destiny because it wasn't Who wrote the script? Eileen and Jasmine. I could have guessed that. And something else. The Acolyte has a writer that's never seen Star Wars. Here's how they made the show even better in episode 3. By getting everything wrong because they've never seen Star Wars. Although we find out the one thing she added to this episode was going, well, kids, they were just worried about cookies. Pointless scene I thought was a waste of time. She thought was the good bit.
My sweet girls must have sweet treats.
Oh, thank you. I was just worried about the Star Wars-ness. And she humanized them.
Binds you to others.
Wait, is it binding you to your destiny or to others?
Pull the thread, change everything.
We can use the thread to change everything.
Ties you to your destiny.
But we can't change everything because it's also tying us to our destiny, so it's fixed, and so we can't pull it. Because if we would, we'd change everything.
Binds you to others.
Can they pull this thing and change my destiny and stop me pulling? You didn't think this through at all, did you? It was like, yay! Sewing! Way! How else are we gonna get the female demographic into Star... They can't understand the Force. Midichlorians and science, that's gotta go over their head there, well. Talk about spindles. You see our magic? It's a lot like washing up liquid. You have the light side, a dishwasher, and you have the dark side, doing it manually. But then, just as you think this scene can't get any worse, well, it does. I do have to ask, why we never see people blocking the Force before? Literally, the Jedi Master get knocked back by... At no point did she just go, oh, I could just stop that, because I'm way more powerful in the Force than you. But she beats her with Hadouken.
The power of one.
Hadouken. At this point, I'm just wondering how high she can count. I'm betting on 4. 5 if a man's nearby to raise the average. Hadouken! So this This is very basic stuff where she's essentially going, oh, by the way, if I'm stronger than one person, but then two people go against me, then they get stronger. Like, yeah, this is how everything works. Two people force pushing is more than one person force pushing. I agree. So she wins, but only just about, and then thinks she's really smart when she goes,
Power of 2.
seriously, we need to get men back in the classroom, I tell you. This should be common sense, not even needed to be taught to them, let alone at their age. I'm gonna teach you your ABCs.
And tonight, you will experience the power of many.
All right, love, someone's gonna need to call the police. I don't know what you lot want to experience with them, but whatever it is, definitely shouldn't be allowed. Especially as you're all evil Sith. I mean, that's also another downside. Someone needs to call protective services.
Pay attention. Stop distracting me.
This is why you don't have kids in TV shows, and especially don't draw attention to them by trying to make them act like children. This whole scene is just,
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
like, they're not 3-year-olds. I can understand why a load of women on a planet with no blokes wouldn't understand how kids act, but come on, you could have consulted somebody who's normal. And she's like, see, this is your fault. You're never actually teaching them, backhand them. Bear the rod, spoil the child.
Enemies will not warn you before they attack.
Based. If only she was here in order to do it to the evil Sith going around destroying the universe.
I have a criminal skull shape.
Seems like your lessons didn't stick, really.
Block me.
Don't you think that's a bit advanced? We were just teaching them how to count to 2 earlier. But the evil one's blocking her while the good one hides behind.
Osha, I expect more from you.
Yeah, like anything at all? Do you know what I had to do to fill that turkey baster? Wasn't just a builder's backside I saw that night. Oh, scarred me for life. Ooh, there's a noise. Was that a Jedi dropping his lightsaber or something? How did he make a noise that loud that went that far? As he goes and investigates. Nothing. Hey up, that's sparking, love. I'd check that. Wouldn't want it to explode or anything, would you? But they're being questioned. And I was just like, I don't want to do the ascension. Why? You've been sat in a cave your entire life. You know nothing different. Why would you not want to do it?
But that's how we become witches.
As opposed to what? What else are you going to do?
I don't know if I want to be a witch.
As opposed to what? You've been brought up in one singular environment. Being a witch is the only thing that you know. Kids can't choose between things unless they are exposed to different ideas. It wouldn't even occur to her that there is another way of living possible. This doesn't make any sense.
Of course you want that. No, you want that.
Girls.
Nobody asks her what she wants. It's like, no, I'm just going to stand here and go, no, so I can make plot happen. But you're going to do more than that, right? You're not just going to make them hold hands for a bit. Well, more fool me, I guess. Should we have a logical scene that actually makes sense where we all talk to each other like normal human beings? No. Let's just hold hands and act like women.
Hold hands.
Oh, so that's what you're willing to punish them for, but not being evil.
This is your sister.
Thanks for that, love. So far, you've taught them how to count to 2 and that they're related. Well done.
The thread tied you together before you were born.
Remember, if you pull on it, that means you can change that.
Pull the thread. Change everything. Ascension is about walking through fear.
It isn't, by the way.
Come.
We see what it is. It's got nothing to do with fear at all.
It is about sacrificing a part of yourself. The power of many instead of the power of one.
Well, you really know how to sell it, love, don't you? Basically, I take all of your power. You give your power to me, because I'm a Sith Lord, you see. Basically invented the estrogen USSR. Ends about as well, actually.
You think you want something different, but that is because you are young.
Just a phase you're going through, love. I love how we're just talking at her. She can't choose anything else. This is why no one's asking her, what else do you want to be? Because she doesn't know. Apart from those guys that come around to build all the houses for them, and occasionally knock up one of the witches by proxy, they haven't even seen another career path. They only know jobless scrounger.
The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us.
Jobless scroungers. Build a religious cult around the wrong information.
Witches who have the abilities we do.
The ability to crash a speeder, not be able to read a map, and be wrong about literally everything, and yet so sure of themselves.
You and your sister are special.
Needs. Your sister's special, Osha, you see? She's entirely evil and wants to wipe out the universe.
I want you to stay special.
I don't think you've got to struggle with that, love. I think everybody in this entire place is special. All I'm going to say is if you don't want people to know you're there, and you're clearly squatting in a place that you didn't build, maybe don't have lights on the outside to announce that it's actually occupied. Meanwhile, outside, all the evil Sith are worshipping a dark black hole. Not the leaders. Although I have a feeling that, like most cults, that probably rotates round them on a nightly basis as well. I wonder if this is a live-action replay of Leslye Headland's career, actually. That would be interesting. But we promise we're not evil, we're just worshipping a hole.
How many spice creams are you gonna eat tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't care.
Thank you, writer that had never seen Star Wars. You're so useful. I'm really glad they employed you. You're like, no, I don't want to do everything with you. We're not the same.
Of course we are. No, it feels that way because we're the only children here.
Weird, innit? You would have expected that in a village of women so insufferable no men can stand to be there would have been more kids. Is now the time we need to teach them about the birds and the bees? No, seriously, the women in this place, the only thing that wants anything to do with them is birds and bees. It is weird in the background, they've just got a load of triangles that looks like it spells out the word yay. But she asked her sister, don't you ever wonder what's outside the planet?
No.
I'm not surprised, love. I had a thought once, but it died of loneliness. Next, though, we get the Force. Sorry, the thread. Through interpretive dance. This is what happens when you take something men-made and then feminize it. Interpretive dance. Oh, they almost Hadouken there as well. Hadouken! I'm just like, there's no way you filmed this and thought this looks good. I want someone at Disney to show Bob Iger this scene and go, that cost $180 million. Then duck, because he's gonna throw something at you. They're not even doing it in time. This is like if you went to an improv theatre session and they went, pretend to be a tree. Hadouken! Hadouken! Oh, see, we're using the Force by pulling the thread. We're pulling it, we are. Oh, look, I've got it. I'm holding onto it. No, the Force is all around you. I don't even know what that's meant to be. Is that why you're waving your arms around? You're definitely trying to feel the thread in the atmosphere. I've got it, folks. Everyone, get behind me and pull. Makes sense why Leslye Headland had to hire writers that didn't know anything about Star Wars. That way, they couldn't call her out that she didn't. Are we sure that's not a bloke? What are we even doing here, folks? Whoa, she was enjoying it, wasn't she? Well, I don't know what thread this one's pulling, but it's definitely lower down. I don't think meant to enjoy it that much when you swap it out, love. That what this is? Like, because they all synchronize once a month, probably on a full moon, let's be honest, they all have to pull on the thread and put in a new one. They just do it communally, because they're weirdos. The sisterhood? How did you know she was there? Or does she always just loom over you going, these lunatics are going to stop at some point in time? I can't believe I've caught them doing it again. They've all got rooms. They could do it in private. The entire time she was doing that, and it had one sound effect playing over the top of it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes! Are you going to make him do interpretive dance as well, love?
Tonight we enact a ceremony we have not performed since our exile.
Ah, so you've been exiled. Is it because you're all evil scum? I'd love to know. That's the backstory we need.
We were hunted.
So look, she's doing it again! Because none of the others are like this.
We were hunted.
What's going on with her? I think this is supposed to be a Twi'lek, but it looks like they've just got really thick earbud wires coming into their ears.
Persecuted. Forced into hiding.
You're clearly a bunch of creepy freaks. The exile did nothing wrong.
Some would consider our power dark.
And they would be correct.
Unnatural.
Based. Have you considered not being a Sith? I'd love to know.
We were on the brink of extinction.
Have you considered getting some men involved? I know this is a bit of complex science for, you.
We were blessed with a miracle. The gift of life.
We perverted the Force and made a child. Was that just the signal? Look how weird that was. You could have just told them to move. You didn't have to look like you're having a fit. That weird gesture is literally just telling them to get out the pissing way. The kids need to walk up and like, oh, our proud mothers. We managed to concentrate the dark side and create these two beings that should never have been born.
Come.
A bit late for that, love. I think a few of them did.
Claim your destiny.
How do you know it's their destiny? What if they pulled on the thread and changed their destiny?
Pull the thread. Change everything.
You set up the rules. I'm just talking about them.
What the thread has tied together, no one can separate.
That's not even true in your own episode.
Pull the thread. Change everything.
That's how wrong your belief system is. Maybe if you understood the Force, it'd be better. And so, we get the most farcical scene ever to have been shown in any Star Wars series ever. I know, it's going some, but somehow, they managed it. Remember, they're proud of this.
Power of one. Power of two. Power of many.
It's gonna be that for about another 10 minutes. Feels like an eternity.
The power of one.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Two. The power of many.
I just love they can only count to 2. That's my favourite bit. 1, 2, more than 2. It's gonna be many, innit? Yeah, 1, 2, many. What happens when you don't have blokes around to uphold civilization? The natural decline of a tribe that has no reason to exist. What are you doing to her?
Come.
Put your threads into me. I need you all inside, but I need you all tugging on my thread together. I can only assume this got signed off by Hollywood because their dark rituals are worse than this one. I told you it was going to be a full moon. And obviously it had to block out the sun because they're all evil and part of the dark side. Oh, the dark side forces flow through me.
Come.
I've grabbed the thread. I've grabbed it. I had to find it despite the fact that the forces all around us know I had to grab this very specific thread that came from the moon into Uranus. It is so fast. You can even see it. Look, there it is. It's not over here. It's not over here. Or down here. No, it's there it is. You can only use the force if you stand exactly on it. The force is all around us. It flows through. No, there it is. You couldn't actually use the force here because the thread doesn't go there. But she says, Mel, you're a part of the dark side. Would you like to join me in evil forever and be bound to it by wrapping yourself up in this filth? And she's like, yes, please.
Protect the secrets of our coven and continue our legacy.
Please, sir, would you like to be evil like me?
I do.
No one's surprised. And so she grabs the thread with both hands and decides to shove it into the other woman's face. You think No, I'm not joking. We're beaming the thread into her face. It's so weird. She can already use the force. We've seen her use the force. I don't even know what this is meant to be. I've shoved this thread into your face. And the only thing it seems to have done is given you a little tattoo. Most stupid thing you could have done, by the way. We're a coven of exiled witches. We're gonna tattoo our own faces so everyone knows we're exiled. This is about as smart as I would expect from that leader. Yes!
Ascend.
Stand up. But if we say it flowery, it's more impressive. But then she goes to ask the other one the same thing. Do you want to be evil and join me in my legacy of darkness across the world?
I do.
Don't sound so confident, love. You're only engaging in a satanic pact that will steal your soul for eternity. No need to be quite so unsure of yourself. Not as if this is a big deal. And despite the fact she knows she's hesitant, still gets the thread and starts shoving it into her face. Luckily, the Jedi save them. Score 1 for the good guys. I love that those are supposed to be guards. You could literally have one bloke in here and just defeat them all.
Hide them.
Remember that, by the way. Take them somewhere else. Whisk them off to a locked room on the other side of the fortress. Or
Do not move. Do not make a sound.
you could just tell them to stand exactly where they are. They're just going to stay in the same room with us, around Jedi, who can sense things because the Force is all around you. The Jedi can use their powers anywhere, rather than just standing on a ley line. So obviously, without any blokes around to do all the important stuff, like engineering or science, they're a very backwards people. Still using bow and arrows in the time of space travel. Seriously, put yourself in the shoes of the Jedi. Must be like landing on the colonies and realizing no one knew what a wheel was. I've never imagined a circle before.
Put down your weapons. No violence.
Yeah, because you'd lose. I mean, look at you. It's like the audience of the Great British Bake Off. If I needed your opinion on whether a Bakewell tart was too dry, I'm sure you'd be of use to me, but anything else, maybe the advantages of a Dyson over a Henry Hoover. Instead, the Jedi walk in, and you find out they really did our boy in episode 2 bad, didn't they? They took this normal-looking bloke and made him look how all these witches should, due to the influence of the dark side. But they stand there like, no one's gonna realize there's a child standing behind us. And the Jedi are all very polite, introducing themselves, and the reaction they get is,
These women are under my protection.
You're trespassing.
calm down, love, have some respect. Your betters are here now. I'm not sure the good guys will care if they're trespassing on evil grounds. Sorry, we thought this planet had no people on it. All-knowing Jedi didn't know something.
I find that hard to believe.
We mean you no harm. Meanwhile, the children decide that they're going to creep to the front and start looking around for some reason. And none of the women around them went, no. Grabbed their hair, punched them in the face, nothing. Really do need blokes around in order to do anything useful, don't you?
Here you are.
Look, you don't even... Oh, maybe if I touch gently on your shoulder, you'll... Backhander! So they start looking through the robes and don't realise if I can see his eyes, he can see mine. That's how light works. So he just sees them through the crowd.
Look at their robes. How they wear their sabers.
How do you know what a saber is? The witches don't have sabers. You've never been off this planet. You know nothing outside this world at all. You don't even know what they are. Well, until they said, we're Jedi. But they didn't go, we're Jedi. This is a saber. They asked the Jedi, what do you want?
We are concerned that you are training children. The Republic law states...
Brenda?
We're not even part of a republic. Your law means nothing here. Also, why would you care if they're training children? They're too old for you anyway as Jedi. You take infants. Now, admittedly, these children are thick as pig shit. They've only just learned how to count to 2, and then many. But that's more down to the, the parenting isn't great.
There are no children here.
That's weird, because I can see them through the clothes, because you didn't take them away when you had time. Yeah, there they are. I could see them. They're looking at me.
Come out.
Come out, because you're the worst people to play hide and seek ever. But after telling him, come out, we won't hurt you, the children come out. And all in all, the Jedi are fine. He's like, what's your name? It's Asha. Her sister comes down, and obviously we get the awkward question.
Where is their father?
They have no father.
That's why at least one of them's evil, and the other one's okay with it. But I guess if you said to the Jedi that these are simply the product of the dark side, they probably would have something to say about that, wouldn't they? But he's like, that marking on their face, that tattoo, it wasn't there this morning. So you found a tribe of women that tattoo their children. I mean, yes, that's weird, but it's no weirder than finding a tribe of women.
You're spying on us? They want to take our children!
Our? You mean there? You don't have any. We'd have to invite our builder back for that to happen.
Jedi do not take children.
Hold your tongue or I cut it out for you!
You see what I mean? The Jedi, calm, collected. No, this is the law. Can we speak to them? We don't want to hurt them. Obviously, we don't take children. What are you on about? And the other harpies are just, ah, I'll cut your tongue out. Ugh, calm down, Karen. No one wants the product of your loins. He does make a really strange decision, though, at this point. I'm gonna unhook my saber. Yeah, but why?
So, no.
Even his leader is like, no, stop it. What are you doing? We don't do that. We're Jedi. We're the good guys. But instead, he just decides to show his lethal weapon to a child, completely untrained, doesn't know what one is, never seen one before. Then he gives it to her. No idea what one is. And she's like, what? What if she's holding it the wrong way? And she's like, brrr. It like goes through her stomach. Now I know a lightsaber through the stomach isn't lethal, so she'd probably survive. But still, what if she wiggled it a bit as she fell down? She doesn't even know how to, she went, oh no, I just beamed it into my own face. This is the one time in the entire episode the Jedi aren't complete gentlemen.
I think you would make a very good Jedi, Osha.
You wouldn't know, you've just met the brat. You haven't even tested her for midichlorians yet. You don't even know if she can use the Force.
Would you like to be tested and see if you could become one?
I think you'd be a good Jedi. We should probably test you first, though. Because unlike IGN, who don't seem to know Star Wars from a baboon's arse, the same people who think the Force isn't just for Jedi or Sith, the Force is for everybody. The Force isn't inclusive, it's exclusive. The Force has standards. That's why literally only a few people can use it. That's why it's useful and valuable and powerful. That's why Jedi can go to planets where there aren't Force users. Specifically because it's not for everybody. Congratulations, IGN. She's like, yes, I want to be tested. Not, what's a Jedi? Would you like to be tested to be a Jedi? What's a Jedi, though? Because I've never seen one, talked about one. I don't know what one is. I've only lived in this little house. The only thing I know are witches, and they keep talking about threads that they're going to pull out of a hole. Now, bear in mind that the Jedi have been absolutely, completely polite throughout all of this. The mother decides that, well, she's just going to do what evil people do. Yeah, she makes his Padawan's eyes turn black, collapse to the ground, and then threatens them.
If you want your Padawan returned, I suggest you all leave.
What? They only came and said hello, and she's just like, die. Remember, she was the one that not that long ago said,
Put down your weapons. No violence.
Exactly the kind of temperament you would expect by somebody surrounded by that much estrogen.
Now.
No, I don't think I will, actually. I mean, what are you gonna do? Cook me a lasagna? You're not that threatening, really, are you, love? Like, it's like, no, for some reason I want to be a Jedi.
I want to show them what you taught me. Please let me take the test.
She's never seen a Jedi before. She doesn't know anything about it. She doesn't know if she wants to become one. But without even asking them what they are, oh, they're so desperate, I need to go with these people for some reason that no one's explained.
You cannot deny that Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans.
And for some reason, she agrees. And about a right, that you can be powerful and magic and go around having adventures and saving the world, or, you know, you could stay here and plant strawberries. Yeah, it'd be a bit weird to deny them that. But I don't know about a right. And say that tomorrow we will bring them to your ship. No, I want to test both of them. Okay, we'll test both of them.
We appreciate your cooperation.
And the Jedi have done nothing aggressive, nothing strange, nothing unusual, nothing threatening. Be weird if somehow the story tried to twist this, wouldn't it? When they've been nice and the other side have literally attacked them and they didn't even defend themselves. They would have been well within their rights to just start chopping them up the moment she attacked the Padawan. And like, gather my advisors, we need a plan. So obviously, as you would expect in this coven, emotions are like all over the place. No one's thinking logically, no one's engaging brain. It's just, oh, my fifis.
We make our move tonight while the moons are high.
It's literally just entirely dark side. No, we need to go and attack them. But they've done nothing wrong. No, we need to go and attack them.
Urge you to remain calm.
Remain calm. Have you seen who you're dealing with? It's not even a man.
One drop of Jedi blood and the Republic would destroy us.
Notice that? Not, we shouldn't go and kill them because they've done nothing to us. Not that we have no reason to attack them. They haven't been violent towards us. No. The only reason they don't want to attack the Jedi is because they would face consequences. Oh, well, we would go and wipe them out, but then something would reflect back on us and we might get caught. These people are evil.
There are only 4 Jedi. Who would miss them?
That's the only rebuttal. Oh, well, if we attack them, we might get caught. And she's like, no, we wouldn't. We wouldn't get caught. This entire place is full of scum and villainy. She's like, Osha wants to go. Osha is but a child. She doesn't know what she wants. I have horns. That means means I'm in charge?
I did not bring the girls into this world so we could lose them to a bunch of deranged monks. It is
Okay, so we know who gave birth to them then. Why don't they have horns? Now, admittedly, I'm not exactly sure about how the genetics of alien species works, but they should have horns. Maybe that builder they collected in a turkey baster looked incredibly different to them.
Not your decision. It is mine.
I carried them.
Yeah, we gathered that before when you said,
I did not bring the girls into this world so we could lose them.
I created them.
oh, I'm so sorry.
I carried them.
I created them.
That must have been horrific for you. I know you don't like to touch one. You were holding it like, how does this lightsaber work? Is it good for you? No, it's not good for me, but you know, turkey baster's not going to fill itself, is it? No, it's all right, mate. I'm not completely out of practice. I'm very used to tugging on a thread. Although when she went the power of many, he did scream in pain. We were very lucky it worked after that.
And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Disgusted, probably. Breakdown laughing. There's a few ways it could go. Who knows? Maybe they'd help you produce more of the next generation. It's just if you got anywhere near a face, you'd have to be very, very careful. Like a hedgehog. But she's like, oh yeah, we did create them from the dark side of the Force, didn't we? Yeah. We are all evil around here. That would explain why the children are. I mean, at this point, we're lucky both the children didn't just disappear up their own black hole. That was always going to be a possibility. It's like getting two rocks and just smashing them together. You don't make another rock. You just break both of them. But at that moment, a person who's so ugly, they could be in a Dragon Age trailer, starts talking. She's like, this test, you could pass it or fail it. If they pass, they leave. Whereas if they fail, they don't. She's very smart and wise. Obviously, she chose brains rather than looks. And that's how she ended up at 30 IQ as opposed to the normal 15 of the planet.
If we want them to stay.
I mean, she says it as if it's a really in-depth plan. We need to test them to see if they can become Jedi. Why don't we just make them not pass? This is put forward as if it's a master plan from an old ancient genius. Oh, we never thought of that before. So she says, we don't know what the test is, but whatever they ask you, whatever you think the right answer is, just get it wrong. Like, yeah, but there's got to be limits to that, right? But no, it turns out Osha is genuinely mentally deficient. I'm not making that up. That's actually part of the plot. So they decide that they're going to fail together. Well, at least the evil one does. Osha's like, but I can't want to be a Jedi. Oh, you don't know what a Jedi is, you stupid tart.
I will stop them. No one's taking me. The Jedi are bad. The Jedi are good.
We're still talking about wiping out the Jedi that have done nothing to us. They're gonna take you. No, they're not. They specifically said we don't take people.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
I vote you can't because you're evil and bad. Who's allowed to use power? Not you. No. You need to be stripped of power. We've seen your IQ in this show, love. The answer's no.
You're a very powerful girl.
It's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? Oh, that's a very hot block of ice.
In winter we hunt with bunta. In summer with bows and arrows.
So in the winter we poison people, and then the summer we act like cavemen. Right. I'm not even sure how you hunt with a poison. I mean, for a start, now you're eating things that have been poisoned. That can't be good for you. And if it works so well, why don't you use it in the summer? This doesn't make any sense.
But we still hunt. That doesn't change.
She's like, you may be evil, the Jedi may be good, but the Force, that always exists. That's probably the smartest line of the show. So they take the children to be tested. And Osha's like, I don't want to lie. I'm not going to lie. She's like, you really should lie. She's like, no, okay, I'll lie then. I promise I'll lie. You may think my dramatic reenactment was over the top, but actually, it's pretty accurate to the script.
I don't want to lie. You have to lie. Promise me. Fine, I promise.
I told you. This is the script writing of a child. So we see the Wookiee working on a bike, and because we know that they're going to try and make out the Jedi evil, it's like, oh, he's probably the engineer that messed everything up. But she immediately sees the Wookiee and goes over to talk to him. I think I know why. Right up the actress's street, that is. Amandla Stenberg is remembering the time they accidentally crashed a furry dance party. I was having the time of my life, so no wonder they had to put it in the show.
Hi.
Life imitates art. Which goes to be tested. He takes a blood sample, check for midichlorians. It's a thread. Okay, so what are midichlorians then? This is like finding a backwards people that don't even understand the atom.
Do all Jedis get one of those?
Oh, you mean his lightsaber? You mean the thing that you didn't know what it was, what it did, and that was given to you when you didn't know how to use it?
After much training, yes.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have given it straight away, would you? You could have cut your own face off. Actually would have saved a lot of pain for me.
Ow, what are you doing?
I was just taking a blood sample.
Okay. You probably should have asked me first, really, shouldn't you? But they start giving her a test and asking her what the images on the screen are.
A spaceship.
Yeah. Could you see why they think she's mentally deficient? You know when people said get the test wrong? They meant on more complex, not baseline questions, like, what is this? You didn't have to follow them so literally, but no, because she has about 15 IQ, she can't think of anything else. He's like, this child is actually retarded. At this point, we're just surprised she's not drooling on the floor.
Correct.
But don't worry, it gets worse.
How about this next one?
Yeah, that seems to be some sort of space station. You knew about space before, so we gave you a space-based one.
A mountain.
The only thing about it's surprising nobody face-palmed her.
Correct.
That wasn't a
That's what I mean. This isn't her trying to pretend that she's mentally defeated. No, she just is. Look, I know she's not a real human being because she was created by the dark side of the Force. So she's basically the living embodiment of evil, but still. The only thing this proves is you really are just the average of the people you surround yourself by. Very low quality stock.
Did someone tell you to fail this test?
No, mate, she's just... You can tell that when she wasn't just getting it wrong. She's like, oh my god, you told me it was correct when I know it isn't. So they say, your family doesn't want to be separated from you. She's like, no. I don't know why, though. I'd sail her down the river for 20p. And he asks her, what do you want?
I was younger than you are when the Jedi tested me.
Well, yeah, so are all the Jedi. She's too old to become a Jedi. Everyone was younger than she was when she was tested. I don't know why we're testing her.
I was only 4.
So you were the correct age, then. We take them at that age so they don't bond with their parents. As that familiar bond leads them to the dark side, this is deliberately done. This is intentional. He says the Jedi saw how special I was, and I could see that you're special. Yes, needs. But after telling her that there are other children at this temple, she decides,
I want to be a Jedi.
yeah, but why? You don't know what a Jedi is. You've never been told. You haven't experienced anything off this planet. You can't have desires because you don't have knowledge. You can't make decisions because you don't know what you're talking about. She has no reason to want to be a Jedi. This doesn't make any sense. At least if she'd seen Jedi or something previously, she'd be like, well, they're really cool, you know. No, I saw them in a lightsaber fight or using the Force. They've done nothing. But she goes through the test and tells the truth. And is all ashamed, at least I think that's what she's trying to be, terrible acting, in front of the other kid who realizes... She's like, I'm evil. And to be fair, the other actress does do a very good job of being evil. Immediately gets grassed up to the parent. She said she's failing. She didn't.
I told the truth. It was the right thing to do.
If only things were so simple.
Things are that simple. Things are always simple. People just like to overcomplicate it. And if things weren't that simple, you could have, like, explained it to her. If you don't lie to her, we're all gonna die. Instead of, if you tell them the truth, you get what you want.
I didn't want to lie.
You lied to me.
Yeah, but you're evil. No one cares about you. You get vaporized in a transporter accident, and I'd laugh.
That man used his Jedi mind tricks on her.
No, he didn't. He's not you. That's the kind of thing that you would do. That's the kind of thing that you were threatening. This is just projection by Satan. She's even got the horns. I just want my own life. I've got to have a TV in my own room. And just...
I want to see the galaxy. Don't want to be a witch.
You could just be a witch in the galaxy and not use your powers. You could still go and travel around. Nobody'd know. None of these things are mutually exclusive. She's like, no, I just want to run off with these people that I have no idea what their life is like.
Go and take a walk, mate. Take a walk with my girl.
But she gets sat down for some female wisdom. I know. It's like expecting Santa to go on a diet, but we're gonna give it a go.
Mama, I'm sorry.
Stop.
Quality parenting there. Shut up.
Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force.
Yes, it is. That was literally the plot of Star Wars. Anakin was the chosen one. It's in the script. Or at least people thought it was, and then it was Luke. This was the entire point of the story. Even in your own show, you said it was.
A thread woven through all of existence ties you to your destiny.
Surely you only have the choice of where the thread takes you, in your analogy.
You get to make a choice.
No. Pull the thread or don't pull it. There is no try.
If you want to pull the thread, then pull it.
But she tells her that if you want to pull the thread, you can pull it, you can go with the Jedi. I'll never see you again. Should have thought that before you decided to join the Jedi, shouldn't you?
I'll never see you again.
You do realize that the Jedi, once they're trained, travel around the galaxy and you could just fly back here. That is an option.
You won't.
Is that because you're going to do something horrific? Because otherwise there's no reason she should come back, is there? But she's like, no, I want to be a Jedi. And why, though? Nobody knows why. You've never said why. We've never seen why. You still don't know what a Jedi is. She didn't know the word Jedi until about 5 hours ago. So they hug and she's like, she's chosen to pull on a thread. Normally we wait longer before pulling on that. If you're pulling it too often, it can get sore.
I must discuss the situation with everyone here.
I don't know why. So she's going to leave. Okay.
But we will consider your wish when we do so.
You just told her she could choose, and we'll take your wish under advisement. We may ignore the thread. But none of this is the most nonsensical piece of the episode. Because she starts packing her bags, and I've got a book. And her evil twin turns up, going full Sith.
I won't let you leave. You can't go.
But if you keep me here, I won't like to be around you, and so I'm not going to be very good company for you anyway.
Can't stop me. Yes, I can. How? I'll kill you.
Well, what's the benefit of that? If I go, I'll never see you again. You can't keep me here. Yes, I can kill you. If you kill me, you won't see me ever again. Killing me is worse than letting me go, because at least if I go, I can come back and visit you. This doesn't even make sense for the evil person. So she grabs a book, pushes her over, like, really gently. I mean, look at this. I mean, falling over from that, love. Come on. You're gonna have to do better than that if you want to be a Jedi. She runs outside with the book, locks her in, like a futuristic lantern. It's really stupid. It's got an open flame out the top. Even the Victorians realized that you should coat the entire thing in glass so that people didn't burn to death. We've got this sort of Dwemer invention from Morrowind. The dwarves have been busy, and she sets the book on fire. Everything after this point is farcical. All it is a little book. The entire place is built out of stone. When she runs to the window, she's like, help me, help me. She looks back, and it's like she's covered the entire place in petrol. It was a book 2 seconds ago. And how is stone and metal burning? Just turn your brain off. It'll be fine. I mean, first we had fire in space, and now we've got burning stone. Well, for some reason, she had like a sonic screwdriver with her. No, I don't know why. We've never seen that before. Never been hinted before. Did she get it off the Wookiee who was fixing the bike? I don't know. Did she steal it off him? I can't remember. I just don't care enough, to be honest. Either way, somehow she knows the electrical engineering of a door. Never seen her do anything like this before. It's just one of her talents, magically. So she gets 2 wires together and literally jump starts the door.
Oh my God.
How do you know how to do that? You thought they'd believe that a space station was a mountain earlier. Now you can hotwire doors. Is it just because you met 3 men and you're like, oh, my IQ's risen? But you had a new average because of the people around you. So that opens up like this little tunnel that she manages to escape through before her entire room made of stone bursts into flame. How is the stone burning? I never thought I'd need to say this before, but please, couldn't you have employed a fireman to consult? It gets worse though, because it seems like the entire building is collapsing. And you're like, what? I think you're meant to think that the fire has caused all that, but surely the writers aren't that stupid. It's Leslye. They might be. They might be. But either way, there's 2 possibilities. Both of them are insane. Either the fire has caused all of this, in which case, really stupid. All of this just happened coincidentally at exactly the same time that something else happened with the Jedi, in which case, really stupid. We are at that gorgeous intersection at the moment, though, where I don't know whether it's just a terrible TV show or it's badly written. It could be either or both. Because she walks out of the cave, sees what I'm assuming is like the power generator or something. Again, which man built that for you? Maybe he's the father, I don't know. But just as she gets there, she sees May walking away from it, and it's like, did May do that? Or you just meant to think May did that? Because, and if May did do that, how did she know to do it? Apart from the fact that the dark side told her to. I hear voices in my head. It's Satan. Now, something obviously very suspicious. The Jedi are here. And he runs in going, Osha! Osha! Doesn't care about the other one. He just wants Osha. Osha! And then these 2 see a metal balcony, which is cut in half, and think, you know what I should do? I should walk on that because it looks really safe. The one consistent thing across every episode is the people in this universe are beyond stupid. I'm not sure there's a word for it yet. I might have to invent one. Londoners? I don't know. Jump over to me! Jump over to you? She's no way she's going to be safe jumping over that. She can barely speak, let alone jump. And so she goes, where's Mama?
Mama's dead.
Okay. Are you going to tell us how? No, you can't, can you? Because that's got to be for the later episode. You know, when you do the twist. Always a twist. There's always a twist. Nobody will see this coming, despite the fact that we keep saying the Jedi are evil.
What have you done? What have you done? What?
Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense. What have you done? No, what have you done? It's like, well, you locked me in my room and then set fire to it. So you're the only person that have done something. But I think that what have you done is meant to be, well, you know, you triggered the Jedi came here, and then everything kicked off, and she blames her for it. Although, quite simply, as we saw how the Jedi acted before, they're fine. The witches kicked something off, and if the witches kicked something off, they got what they deserved. They would have got what they deserved earlier, to be honest. But then the metal collapses. Nobody could have seen this coming. We've only severely damaged the structural integrity. Why are they falling? Like, jump to me, jump to me. Well, he sees this happen and watches her fall. Couldn't have used the Force, mate? Just reach out and grab her. You are supposed to be a Jedi Master. All right, no! But then she falls as well, and this time, oh, is he going to use the Force? No, he's just gonna grab her. He could have grabbed that one and used the Force on the other one, but no, he's just gonna let the evil one die. I actually think it's the right call, to be honest. He struggles to pull her up, considering she's a little tiny child, and he's got Force powers.
Help me!
What do you mean, help you? He's already holding you up. What more do you want, love? Put some effort in yourself.
I got you.
We can see it, and she's holding on to you. So she knows, why aren't you using the Force? Oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to grip the thread. But to do that, I'd have to let go of your hand so I can go, and then I've got magic in between my fingers. Absolutely retarded. Then, though, we see a pile of corpses. They don't have lightsaber burns on them, but they definitely haven't died to fire. Definitely didn't die to fire. Kind of looks like they joined up in ranks, though. Did they do it to themselves? Did they take the poison as if, well, you know, now we've lost the future of our empire. The evil's gone out into the world. I guess that's our job done. Or did they kick off at the Jedi and just get what they deserved? Who knows? Either way, he runs through. There's fire everywhere at this point. Was this caused by the daughter or the Jedi or them? Who knows? somehow the entire thing is collapsing. How did that done? Who knows? What's that? You think a TV show should put in reasoning to the things that happen in the episodes? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to tell you the story badly and then claim it's a mystery. They see her mom, she's like, ah! And somehow everything's on fire. Don't know how. Most of it's stone. That shouldn't burn in the first place. There's no way that fire came from a little book. If it did, that's insane. So at this point, we're just hoping the Jedi caused it, because otherwise none of this makes any sense. Somehow there's even fire up here. Did the Jedi come back in their ship and you used defenses to shoot at them so they blew you up? If so, you still got what you deserved. I don't know a single way this can play out to where the witches don't get what they deserved, because they were definitely willing to act first. Either way, she wakes up on the ship.
Mama?
Are you mentally deficient? The last thing you saw was your mum dead on the ground. I've already forgot. My brain's that incompetent.
You're going to be okay.
Unfortunately. But he says run away to Coruscant and she asks what happened.
They started a fire.
Okay. How do you know that? It was started in a corridor with just the two of them could see it. How do you know she started the fire?
It destroyed everything.
How? Like, either they're lying, in which case, really, or the fire did genuinely kill everything, the Jedi weren't to blame for anything, and I still come back to how did they even know? As well as you're telling me that a stone base burnt through a little book fire that would have gone out in about 2 seconds. Why are we keeping all these incredibly flammable light and lanterns all over the place, where if one breaks, the entire building burns down in the first place? And he's like, it killed everybody. How? Oh, look, there's a fire down that stone corridor. I'll walk this way, then I'll be safe. I know it was very controversial when Rees Mogg said it once, but seriously, if your building's on fire, leave.
You have to go back.
We have to go back. They'll be delicious.
There is nothing back there.
He's like, there's nothing left there. We can't go back for you. But you'll be safe on Coruscant. And I will train you as my Padawan. Oh, we're bonding. Even though I'm a Jedi and I'm not supposed to be bonding. But we're bonding. And his love is like, we're forgiving ourselves for what happened that day. Why? He didn't do anything that we've seen or makes sense. But then we see the evil one alive by the tree. Oh, this is where you always go when I can't find you. So because you can't find her, she assumes she's dead. It's like, hang on, how did you even survive? You fell down a massive hole. What did you do? Pull on the thread and fly? And I've watched this twice now. And I still don't know what I've just watched. I made a post immediately after watching it that I don't know what I watched. This was the first time. I can't tell if it doesn't make sense because the Jedi are lying or because it's a terrible script. But I shouldn't be thinking, what on earth was that? And I'm still in exactly the same boat. They can be doing a rope-a-dope and actually, oh, the Jedi caused it all. Or they could be like, oh, the witches caused it all. Or maybe it was just correct and she did burn everything down. None of these things make sense in the scenario. The only way you could even get the Jedi to have caused this is if you're just going to go, well, they weren't Jedi, they were Sith. And so they came in and just started attacking people with lightsabers. And during the fight and the defense, everything burned down. Or more likely, the Jedi came, said, we're going to take her, she wants to come with us, which she did. They said no, fought them off and lost. In which case, we're going to have to believe that 4 Jedi wiped out the entirety of all the witches, which would mean that the Jedi are the ones who actually know the Force correctly, because they're way more powerful than the people who are ignorant in its use and get it wrong. Pretty based. The other one is that the witches did this deliberately in an attempt to pull on the thread and influence the future, essentially blaming the Jedi for taking the children and being like, well, if we do this, if we scar the children enough with our deaths, maybe they will cause the downfall of the Jedi as an act of revenge. All these things are possible, none of them really make sense, and when we get, later on, the twist to explain what should have been explained in this episode, I have a feeling that this is just going to have massive plot holes, much like Ahsoka did. Written by somebody that has no idea about story, pacing, or even how you put an episode together. That the episode should have a point, it should be satisfying to watch, and it should answer things within it. And if you want to have a mystery, you should leave the mystery there. Not make people confused of what on earth was the point of anything I just watched, combined with, I don't know if you're setting up a mystery or just bad at writing. That was the most pointless episode of TV I've seen, and literally none of it was Star Wars. But really, what did I expect? From a place that hires writers that have never even seen Star Wars. I don't even know how you become a Hollywood writer without seeing Star Wars. But worse, they think it's how you make shows better, when you clearly have no idea what quality is. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.